However, we see shop closing down, people losing jobs, so what's going on here? In fact, the official unemployment rate published by the Australian Bureau of Statistics is seriously distorted. Today, let's tear off the fig leaf covering Australia's unemployment rate. First of all, what does it mean to be employed? By their definition, if you work more than 1 hour a week, you're considered employed. That's wild. If I just deliver one food order in a whole week, I'm counted as someone with a job. Of course, this isn't Australia's fault because this is the official definition from the International Labour Organization, and all countries use it. But if we compare this definition with other countries, you'll find that among OECD countries, Australia's unemployment rate actually isn't that bad. It's much better than some of our struggling peers. However, this data itself is seriously distorted. For example, let's say I want to work 40 hours a week, but I can't find a job. So I can only do odd jobs like food delivery. So what am I considered then? This is what's called underemployment. You might think this video has a clickbait title, but what follows is actually quite informative. Now, if we include this group of people, the unemployment rate in Australia would exceed 10%. Doesn't that match your own experience more closely? But that's not all. Let's dig even deeper. So who are the underemployed? Most likely they're part-time and temporary workers. So I did a cross-country comparison and found that Australia's rate of part-time and temporary workers is much higher than that of other OECD countries. I also compared Australia's part-time and temporary employment rates horizontally. Compared to those developed OECD countries, Australia's rates are much higher, almost double that of the UK and Canada. If you check Seek right now, you'll see that almost all the job postings are for casual and part-time positions. The fact that companies don't dare to hire full-time employees essentially shows that they lack confidence in their future operations and the economic outlook. Finally, let's look at one more killer statistic. It's the proportion of people looking for jobs. Actually, the unemployment rate is calculated by dividing the number of people without jobs by the number of people actively looking for work. In other words, if you never intended to look for a job in the first place, you wouldn't be counted among the unemployed. Capitalism is really something. These aren't even people anymore. At best, they're like cattle. If you look at the official statistics, this number has been rising steadily over the past decade. People who used to stay at home without needing to look for work are now coming out to job hunt. So if you look at the whole picture, Australia's job market is currently showing a false sense of prosperity. On the surface, the unemployment rate seems low, but many jobs are actually unstable part-time or temporary roles. Many followers have asked, with the economy struggling, can you still buy a house? You can, but you can't buy carelessly. You need a home that can handle an economic downturn, an affordable, essential property. I'm Jingswan Xian, your home buying advisor in Melbourne.